bold journalism,
But Drew Hernandez is a strong-minded individual.
exposing lawlessness,
Hernandez, who is ideological,
finding the truth,
and use the word Antifa.
This is what they do.
battling
They're
mainstream
liars. The woke mob, all they can do is lie.
These are the front lines.
What's going on, thought criminals? Welcome to Frontlines. I am your host, Drew Hernandez. We got a bunch to talk about today in regards to the New World Order globalist agenda of the open borders that's continuing at the United States of America, the formerly known southern border, where it is replaced migration. They are changing the demographics in the United States for generational changes, and also the climate change liars and false prophets are coming out and being exposed like they always are. And we got some very interesting people in the White House. Well, no longer in the White House because the mentally ill and the so-called adults are back in charge, but they're running an absolute clown show, and it is a circus with what is taking place here in our country, especially those that are in positions of power. My name is Drew Hernandez, and you are now on the front lines. Well, over the weekend, 7,400 migrants crossed Mexican border to El Paso over the weekend. Huge story by Bart that's been going viral all over the place. El Paso Sector Border Patrol agents encountered nearly 7,400 migrants who crossed the border from Mexico, mostly to the city of El Paso over the weekend. Border Patrol officials called it a major surge in an already overwhelmed sector of the border, multiplying the 2,400 daily average migrant encounters puts the total for the weekend at 7,300 migrants who mostly entered the city of El Paso. When you guys see this footage, like we've always talked about, is people need to understand that it is not just happening by chance. It is all by design. They've done this with Europe, and they're continuing to do it today with the United States of America with the replaced migration. These people that are flooding the United States, formerly known southern border, are coming for a reason. The UN is involved. The World Economic Forum has a clear, crystal clear agenda that they believe that illegal immigration, you could all look this up on the World Economic Forum, by the way, that they believe that illegal immigration makes money for countries, and it also changes the future of the country, and they view that as good. They view it as something that is progressive. They view no borders as something that's progressive for society, when in reality, it's actually more dangerous and increases human trafficking, sex trafficking, and the cartel organizations. They all begin to make millions, billions of dollars off of human beings alone. So anytime you see this footage, that is what is taking place with cartels. That is what is taking place with these organizations that are all over the world that continue to push this and continue to try and change the demographics here in the United States of America. Meanwhile, when you have politicians that go down there for photo ops and go down there for video ops, like Governor Gavin Newsom of California, he apparently visited the southern border and was blaming Republicans for the crisis, but also took shots at the federal government as well. Newsom visited a California facility in Imperial County that provides services to migrants. He blasted the federal government, which is currently run entirely by his own party, for failing to provide more funding. He then blamed Republicans and conservative pundits for the problem, saying they had politicized migration. This is clear, classic gaslighting, because you and I see this, we see right through it, and we know it's not only hypocritical, but these people are responsible for allowing the World Economic Forum and the UN to allow the mass illegal immigration take place in this country that is going to change the demographics, change the language. These people can't even speak English, okay? And you could guarantee you this has been done in foreign countries, and they're doing it here as well. And that is why people like Governor Gavin Newsom is in the palm of the World Economic Forum, because he's nothing but a puppet to continue to push these narratives and then gaslight and attempt to pivot and project that it's actually the opponent's fault. Going after the federal government. He's not actually saying, by the way, he's not saying that it's the federal government's fault that this is taking place to our country. He's actually blaming them for not doing enough and giving them more money. So he's pointing the finger at the federal government to give them more money, which is your taxpayer money, to take care of illegals that don't belong here in the first place, that are most likely pedophiles and rapists and human traffickers, murderers. God knows who they are. Even the Border Patrol doesn't even know who these people are. They claim to be families. They claim to be moms and dads and little kids. When you ask the Border Patrol at the southern border, they don't even know who these people are. So your money, okay, that is what Governor Gavin Newsom is calling for, because he's a WEF puppet and he's going to use your taxpayer money to change the demographics of this country and destabilize and destroy this country from within with mass illegal replacement migration. That's exactly what these people believe in. Well, I mean, we can't have any funding to lock down our southern border, but it's always abundantly clear that everything has to go to Ukraine. All of our money has to go to Ukraine. All of our resources, everything that we should be using for ourselves, that bill has to go to Ukraine, because Ukraine matters more than you, ladies and gentlemen. Ukraine matters more than the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. Ukraine matters way more than whatever you are literally currently experiencing in your life experience. Well, President Zelensky has named a new price for Ukraine's winter survival. And this is interesting. He's seeking another pretty much $1 billion, 840 plus million in donations, which is your taxpayer money. President Vladimir Zelensky on Tuesday put a price on how much is needed for Ukraine to survive the winter. Watch this, okay? Watch this. Pleading some 800 million euros, 840 plus million US dollars, is necessary to help his country survive Russia's bombing of its civilian infrastructure, okay? The call comes as Moscow has switched tactics since October, when it began airstrikes targeting Ukraine's energy network, plunging millions into cold and darkness at the onset of winter. Zelensky also urged G7 nations on Monday to provide about 2 billion cubic meters of additional gas, fossil fuels, to get through the winter, as well as more tanks, missiles, and assorted lethal weapons to fight the invasion. Okay, these are the same stupid people that come out and say, climate change, the world's gonna end. You should just lower your carbon footprint, get rid of your car, get rid of your gas, get rid of everything you have to survive, because, you know, you will just own nothing and be happy. We'll pull the plug from you. Everything should be electric and wind and solar, because that's the future, when we all know that's gonna take us back to the freaking Stone Age and be absolutely primitive. These are the same stupid people, okay, at the forefront, G7, World Economic Forum, saying, climate change, climate change, climate change, get rid of all fossil fuels, it's gonna kill everybody. But you know what, America, by the way, we're all gonna die, and we're not gonna survive the European winter, and we need $1 billion to survive, and we need gas to do it. Hypocrites, World Economic Forum, these climate crusaders that are preaching false prophecies to the entire world. Global warming was supposed to end the world like 30 years ago. These people are false prophets with false prophecies. They claim that our impending doom is coming. They put dates on it. They put years on it. And like Christ said, discern and to watch and expose all these evil people that are coming forward, that false prophets would rise in the last days. And I'll tell you one thing, this climate change agenda, these are literally wolves trying to convince the world of something that is obviously not going to happen, because they've been trying to convince people for decades that the world's going to end. Oh, but by the way, we need gas. Well, Pete Buttigieg is being slammed, another climate crusader, for using taxpayer-funded private jets. Would you look at that? Another crusader that tells you that you need to go fully green, and the Green New Deal is amazing, and even saying that roads are racist. But this is the same idiot, the White House Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, was called out for his climate hypocrisy after it was revealed that he has been flying on taxpayer-funded private jets, all while advocating for reduced carbon emissions, Fox News reports. Buttigieg has taken at least 18 private jet flights since taking office, at the same time as being an advocate for reducing carbon emissions. Would you look at that? How effective, right? This is how it's going to go. You guys know that, right? This whole climate agenda is not going to be some universal, equal, leveled playing field where, oh yes, all the peasants, you remove all your fossil fuels. You remove all of your energy that you've been surviving off of. You remove your gas-powered car. You just go full green, and do you think that the elites are going to do the same? Of course they are not. They are absolutely not. You are going to suffer while they get to go into the future and be the elites, because you're the peasant. It's the same thing with guns. It's the same thing with everything. They want to be in full control and power because that is what these demonic, satanic psychos are obsessed with. Speaking of satanic psychos, the White House is running some cover for Dr. Fauci, saying that Elon Musk calling out Fauci is, oh, it's so dangerous. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, my goodness. Take a look.
Look, we've been very clear about this. These attacks, these personal attacks that we have been seeing are dangerous on Dr. Fauci and other public health professionals as well. They are disgusting and they are divorced from reality. And we will continue to call that out and be very clear about that. Again, these are incredibly dangerous, these personal attacks that we are seeing. Dr. Fauci has served under 7 Republican and Democratic presidents. We cannot forget that. He has given his almost entire career to civil service, as a public servant. His work on infectious disease from HIV/AIDS to COVID has saved countless lives. And, it's unfortunate that he has, we are fortunate, I should say, that he has devoted his career and his life and his exceptional talent to America's public health. And that's what should be discussed right now. That's what we should be thankful to him about. And again, these are incredibly dangerous and should be called out. I'll leave it there.
Fauci has saved countless lives. Fauci has saved countless lives with all of his lies, because Fauci is the great high priest of COVID and the great high priest of the World Economic Forum. We're supposed to bow down to our Lord and Savior, Dr. Fauci, which, by the way, we went from no masks to masks, and the vaccines are great for everybody. They're hurting and destroying everyone's health. And now here we are in 2022. Fauci is trying to ride into the sunset and is still on MSNBC claiming we're in the middle of a pandemic. Still, take a look.
Here we are going into the 3rd year of it, and we are still in the middle of a pandemic with the numbers that you just showed.
There it is. There it literally is. And isn't it crazy how Karine Jean-Pierre, she's always trying to do the Obama thing. Is this supposed to make her smarter? It's always having to read her notes because she's super low IQ and can't make a point. She could never go off script because she's a diversity hire that is simply there to spew garbage and propaganda and doesn't have a thought of her own. Dr. Fauci should be arrested. You guys want to talk about clown world and a circus and an absolute just puppet, total simulation, right? NPCs just being propped up for specific purposes, and then they propagate the narrative around them as if they're actually something. Senator, right? Senator-elect John Fetternick this is real, you guys. By the New York Times, John Fetternick is being listed among the most stylish people by the New York Times. I don't know. Is it him or his neck bulge that is being listed there? Because I would like some clarification on that one. I'm just, being honest with you guys. But talk about actually being propagated into something that they want that individual to literally be appeared to be represented. It is just, the propaganda never stops. We are living in a totalitarian regime where there's a technocracy at the same time. These people are defining what science is, which is crazy, but they also define and redefine words to fit their own agendas, not because they're hypocrites. I always say this. We've gone beyond saying they're hypocrites. These people know they're hypocrites, but they hate you, and they're willing to do it because they just want to control you. The Cambridge Dictionary has just changed and dropped a new definition of a woman. I guess we've been asking the question, what is a woman? Well, here's Cambridge's new definition. An adult who lives and identifies as female, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. Here are a couple of examples. She was the first trans woman elected to a national office. Mary is a woman who is assigned male at birth. These people are 100%. What did Jesus say? You are of your father, the devil, and your desires you wish to do. He is the father of lies, the origin of lies. That's exactly what that is. Taking something God has instituted, that God has designed, and literally redefining it. That is what Antichrist is. You're putting yourself in the place of God, defining something God has literally created, engineered human biology and the human race themselves, but humans are coming around and redefining what basic human biology is. Even further on that note, speaking of the deranged, Biden's non-Barry nuke official is out of a job after alleged luggage theft. Multiples. I guess I really do question myself. Are these people real? Like, is that actually a real person? Or is that just a troll? Because listen, okay, if it's real, that is obviously a mentally deranged person thinking they're in the skin of a woman, finding themselves in a position of power to literally just run rampant in society, stealing women's luggage. That's allegedly what it was. Because these people hate women. At the end of the day, they hate women. That's what it is. They hate women. So these mentally ill males, they desperately want to live in the skin of a woman. And then they turn around and they verbally or they physically, they abuse women by doing so. That's what I think it is at the core of it. That's what I really think it is at the core of it. Aside from the mental illness and the sin, right? But Biden brought a non-binary drag queen to the White House for signing of the same-sex marriage bill, which is antichrist as well. Gay marriage is not seen positive in the eyes of God. I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, whatever. I say this all the time. I'm a Christian before I'm a conservative. Gay marriage is not of God. God created a biological female and a biological male. End of story. And if you have a disagreements with that, you have a disagreement with God, and I don't care because you're going to have to face God for that one. And look where we are in society. Read Romans chapter 1, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and you will clearly see where God stands on marriage. We don't have the ability to dictate what is marriage and what is not. God is the one who's instituted it. He's the creator. He's the inventor of it. He has determined what it is. And it is not two men getting married. It is not two women getting married. It is a biological male and a biological female, period. Quite literally for the purposes of procreation as well. That's why I always say the homosexuals have no biological future. It's literally as simple as that. I mean, argue with that all you want. Anyways, this is who President Biden is bringing into the White House after the passing of the Respect for Marriage Act. What a blasphemy, right? We respect marriage by making it homosexual. What a blasphemy to the nostrils of God, right? Because God has instituted something different. After the passing of the Respect for Marriage Act earlier this month that federalizes same-sex marriage, President Biden has invited, to celebrate it, right? To celebrate gay marriage, why don't we invite a drag queen that tweets things like this? The kids are out to sing and suck D. What a celebration for gay marriage, ladies and gentlemen. Would you look at that? President Biden decides to invite a drag queen to the White House to celebrate gay marriage with an individual that tweets things about kids sucking penises. Wow! Totally not depraved, totally progressive, totally amazing, isn't it? Totally the right direction we should be going in. Absolutely not. It is an abomination, gay marriage is. Because God has instituted something different, period. I don't care what anybody says. Cancel me for standing on the side of Christ. Cancel me for standing on the side of God. I don't care what people have to say. I care what God has to say, and I will die with that in my lungs to the very end of my existence. So go ahead. Cancel me for literally just stating the truth. I will go down with a smile on getting canceled for something that Christ has established for all of our existence as humans. These child mutilators need to be stopped because, this is where this goes. The Biden administration blocked from forcing doctors to provide sex change surgeries. Okay, this is who these people are. On Friday, a U.S. appeals court ruled that the Biden administration cannot force healthcare providers to provide gender transition surgeries, stating that this would have forced healthcare providers to violate their religious freedoms. Not only that, who the hell in their right mind is going to want to force any human being on the face of this planet to mutilate the genitals of a child? It is absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane. not just children, but even adults as well. I mean, if you're an adult, go do whatever you want. You're going to have to face God for that. But I mean, these people are trying to shove all this stuff down our mouths, even at the federal level in the White House, pushing this garbage and this depravity, total degeneracy, dude. That is what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with just something bad right now. You're dealing with total degeneracy, satanic and demonic powers going after your family, going after your children, everything that God warned us of, everything that the New Testament and the Old Testament spoke of. And by the way, it's nothing new, right? It's nothing new under the sun. It's just reoccurring in the timeline again. We're just living in the American superpower timeline, and we are witnessing our moment of depravity, which is a serious issue. Serious issue. For God's sake, you got biological males assaulting female students in bathrooms, at schools. I mean, because everyone wants to push the rainbow flag and the trans gay stuff. So this is what you got to deal with, all right? You got to deal with this stuff now. You wanted to open that can of worms? This is what you got to deal with now. So I hope you're happy. I hope you enjoy it, okay? Because it's not going away. It's not going away until society takes a stance with God. That's what it's going to do. That's what it's going to take to fix all of this. You take a stance with God, society levels out. When we repent and we come back to what God has ordained, that's when society gets to a more level playing field. Right now, we can't even see the devil, you guys. Our society can't even identify Lucifer if he just appeared magically in front of everybody. The society is so depraved that they can't even identify that. Not the thought criminals, not the actual born-again Christians, those that are living through discernment and the Bible every single day. You see it, you know it, because I'm speaking your language right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Just like Christ said, you understand my words because you're of God. You don't understand my words because you are not of God. That's why all the fake conservatives and the fake Christians out there get all pissy and triggered whenever I say God is not for gay marriage. You cannot hear those words. I'm not saying I'm God. Those are God's words. You can't hear them because you are not of God. Period. Repent. Get with it. Otherwise, you know where you're going to go and what's going to happen. And he doesn't want that for you. He loves you very much. That's why for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whoever would believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life. There's the gospel. It's literally as easy as that. I mean, you know what? I had a lot more, but I'm just going to end the show right here. You want to know why? Because I'm sick and tired of people running around asking questions as to why are we here in society? Why do we have pedophiles in the White House? Why do we have drag queens that tweet things like, oh, the kids are here to suck penis? Why do we have that? How did we get to this level of degeneracy in our American society? Number one, because we have chosen to suppress the truth and embrace the lie. And we took it even further by accepting the lies and living in total degeneracy and turning our backs on God, turning our backs on the truth, literally burying morality under the ground, okay? As far as we can bury it. You don't think that that's going to have a severe negative impact on our society? Of course it is. It is 100% going to have a negative impact on our society. And people are always asking themselves, how do we fix this? It's very simple. Turn to God, bend the knee, bow, and put everything back in his hands, and we'll see what he does. How do you think we got here in the first place, you guys? Think about it. My name is Drew Hernandez. These are the front lines. I'll see you guys on the next one.
We must play offense. Game on.
You expect the rest of the world to live in La La Land. We're not.
We've been saying these things from day one.
Our solemn vow to you, be good, be brief, be gone.
You might find yourself changing your opinion on things you've never even thought twice about. That really sets America apart.
You are not ready for season 2. This is Reloaded.
My life, tale, and my truth has been to fight socialism.
Are you familiar with structural racism?
Yeah, it's a myth.